So yeah, I'm recording now. But just to knock things out, yeah, balancing sports and school with stuff. It's that's the real hard question. So I'll give you like a little anecdote of what like I tried to do primarily. I didn't really like gym much when I was in high school. I didn't like my parents wouldn't let me, so instead I got signed up to like a bunch of like different clubs and stuff and different sports like outside of school. So I done kickboxing for a few years. I done soccer, football for a few years also, and that helped a lot to just install or like bestow fitness or like living a healthy lifestyle into my everyday life and my everyday routine. So I just had that mindset. Like I like sports. I'm a very sporty person. So naturally, it was just going to be a lot easier for me to pick up on a lot of healthy concepts, healthy eating, and going to sleep early. The benefits of like nutrition and stuff. It was just a lot more easy. So you're going to have to that. It's going to be tough for you to meet training every single day for whatever sport you do like that's outside of school because you're going to be in school for around like 8 hours or so. I can't even remember, but that's going to take a good chunk of your time. So when you're out of school, let's say you start at like 8 and then you finish at like 4, you go around like 6 hours to work with, and some of that's already taken up with study time. So you might immediately like after school like go to the gym, like if you have access to that, or go to some extracurricular sport activity in school or just any other sport out of school. So you can dedicate around let's say 1 to 2 hours to that, and from then on, let's say you have another 2 hours to work with for studying. So it's 8 p.m. Let's just like assume that you're on point with your time and you're you're pretty like flexible and you're not like wasting time playing like games or anything. And this is just like an average school day. So that's what you have to work with, and then you're left over with depending on when you go sleep. Like let's say you go to sleep at 11 p.m. or so, you're going to have like 4 to 5 hours to work with from there, just like free time, whatever you want to direct towards. Boom. It's it's gonna be hard, and not every day you're gonna be free. But if you have like half days or something in relation to school or the weekends, that's when you're gonna be able to be doing a lot more sports and sport related activities or just gymming as well. It's gonna be more so of a weekend thing. During the weekdays, it's not gonna be as much. But like I said before, like earlier on, you're going to have to want to make the most of your free time, make the most of the time you have, because you can't really afford to slip up when your schedule is just compiled of a lot of schoolwork and a lot of other obligations that you most likely have to fulfill because your parents will be on your back when it comes to that. So it's going to be pretty hard. All right. So forward asks, what would be your first my advice for someone who wants to start a business? So there's a lot of things you can do. Like it's the business like aspect or this like subject. There's plenty of like options and choice and diversity in terms of what you want to do. But Hamza specifically, like he recommends like the basic like drop shipping. You order things in, and then you sell them for a higher price in return. That's like the basics. But I'm pretty sure depending on what country you're in, you're gonna have to be of a certain age to do that. But that's like the get your foot in the door like type of business. But if you're like interested in any like hobbies in particular and you think there's a chance you can get some monetary gain from that, you can look into that because that's probably going to be best for you. You're not going to like feel bored when you're doing it. You're not going to feel drained. You're not going to feel unsatisfied. So in whatever aspect, let's say for example, you're you're like you like football. So football as in soccer, like with for anyone like who's in America, just like any sport really, like doesn't matter what it is. But let's say you just like that, and you're thinking of like Skillshare, for example. You can use a medium through that to like teach skills, or you can possibly set up your own, like, let's say you train kids and you teach them like pretty preliminary like football skills or something. You can go to like your local like community club and ask them if that's possible for you to do. And it's pretty like not open ended. It depends on like what's around you, how things work. But something like that is pretty possible from the part of the world I live in. But if you want to get into like the nitty gritty of like business and stuff, in terms of like crypto and all of that, it's not a field that I'm very like. I'll admit that I'm not very versed in. So it's kind of hard. Like any form of football is what I mean. It's something that any sport, but like you have to realize that the monetary gains are going to be like immediate, and something that takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of investment. So it's not that's that's the best like advice I can give there. Like I'm not very super versed in terms of like starting up like entrepreneurship or anything like that. I'm not very I don't have the best idea when it comes to that stuff, but you can definitely like just make it work, even if it's something as simple as like you're good at baking. You can sell your own cakes, your own products, and you can work in that area and create a name for yourself, create like a name for your business and stuff. And you can just try to make a profit from what you put in. Like you just raise the prices a little in what you produce, and then you can bring it back in. But like it depends what you personally want to do. Like, if you wanna ask, like, tell me what you like have interest in, then I can get like a better idea of what could possibly suit you in the business aspect. But yeah, that's like my general advice on that. Mm. So Rex asks, what's an effective way to lose weight and how long will it take during school time? So I guess the best way to do that would be intermittent fasting. So I don't know all the details on this. I can link it probably at the end of the lecture, but essentially you're going to want 12 hours or so to pass between when you go to sleep or your like last meal of the day and when you wake up. So you'll be in essentially a fasted state, but it won't be as difficult as if you were doing like a full day fast because you'll be obviously asleep. So you're not going to be as hungry or as active, and you won't be wanting as much food. So that's a good way to just get into losing weight initially, and then you can probably, if you want, you can have your breakfast. But if you want to go the extra mile, you can have your first meal like at lunch in school, and then let's say it's the weekend, so you can possibly do some training fasted, and that'll probably have like or an increased effect or effectiveness from training while fasted. So that's a that's a possibility that you can try out, but it's really hard. Like if you're in school, because that sucks up a lot of time. So you're not going to be able to just like to fit in any kind of exercise when you're in a school environment. But like fasting is probably the best way. It depends though, cause if you're like not used to fasting, like being hungry could possibly like affect your concentration levels, and it could be a detriment to you studying and stuff. So or keeping alert or attentiveness. So like keep that in mind. It's not like something that you should. Okay, so if you're used to fasting, then yeah, you could possibly make it work, but you're gonna have to implement it regularly to see any like sort of effects. You can drink water, yeah, like that'd essentially be a water fast, so you can make that work. But like as I said, it'd be like around a 12-hour period. So let's say you have your last meal at 8 p.m. and then you go to sleep around 10, and you wake up, you sleep for around, well, that'd be a lot, but we say just for the sake of argument or like just the making a point, you'll say you sleep for around like 10 hours or so, and then you wake up and it's 8 a.m. again. So that's 12 hours since you last ate your last meal, and then you can implement just like a small breakfast or so to keep yourself like just nourished, and to make the morning easier, because it's gonna be like pretty hard if you're just going out of that. And yeah, see a pizza. Yeah, and you could like there's some I've known like there's some like drinks that are like very that have a high amount of electrolytes, so you could like look into that as well. Probably help to keep you from being distracted in a school environment. Yeah, yeah, and it can, yeah, it definitely can be dangerous if like you're not used to that. But like if you are, it's gonna be very like pretty like rudimentary, pretty easy for you to go around doing that. So electrolytes are essentially well, I'm not like I don't even bro. Yeah, they're molecules essentially, or like I'm not even sure like what part. Like I'm not a science guy, but they're essentially going to keep you like functioning on a basic like level. So like that's a lot of questions I just asked. Like I was gonna like suggest some points or so, but like if it just wants to be like an interactive type of thing, I don't mind either. Like that's pretty good. If it was just like answering people's general questions and stuff, I can do that. That's the whole point of this here. Like I just want to make it like something like small or weekly I can do. Like someone who's like have some experience, I can just answer people's questions, and like keep like a community aspect about like where I'm just like taking time out of my day to see how people are going on with like their self improvement journeys and stuff. If they have any concerns, any inquiries, just about how to do things, like I can just like lend advice from what I've experienced. Mm, from like what way? Once you've lost water, do you mean like just from like general excretion, from like sweating, or from like taking a piss, or what? Like it depends. So obviously, if you're doing a lot of exercise, you're gonna need a lot of water, cause that's gonna just like it's gonna be dangerous to do so otherwise, and it might lead to you being dehydrated, which is definitely like a no no. Oh, you mean weight? Oh, like water weight or oh, do you still okay? So I guess the water in itself is not it's not gonna like influence like the weight loss aspect as much. So what you're aiming is more so on like your carb intake and general food is what you're trying to lose that type of fat. So like you can still drink water just to keep that feeling of nourishment or feeling full. It'll just keep you going, but like you can go like no water, no food, but that's definitely going to be harder. And if you're trying that in school, like I remember I used to do something similar when I was in high school. It's pretty hard, like trying to concentrate. Like you just be like distracted all the time and feeling hungry, and you would daydream easily. So you might want to stick to the water. So yeah, Sinner Brown asked, what's my morning routine looking like? So like I'll just break down what I done this morning, right? So I went out and I woke up first of all before like I jumped the gun. Like I woke up and I instantly just went down, take a shit, come back up, and then I work on journaling and meditation for a bit before I go for a morning run, just to make sure that like I'm not like doing the run while I'm like drowsy and shit. Like I want to have like a good performance and stuff. So I go out. I happen to run like so that's good. And I came back and it's still like 9 a.m. and stuff. So like I make a breakfast, and that breakfast today included oats, coconut milk, raspberries, flaxseed like mixture if you're aware of that, and blueberries. So pretty like vegan based. Like I'm not a vegan, but like I've been looking into it, looking into those type of meals, and that's what I tried today. So it was just like oats with like without like actual like cow milk. So I had that for breakfast just to keep myself full, and then I go back into working on my habit tracker and other stuff I want to do. So I do some pretty basic like learning to start my day off. Like I'll go read a book. I'm currently reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I'll spend like let's say 10 minutes or so on that, and then I'll go to learning some languages. It's just like pretty easy like learning to get the day started. Like I'm currently learning French and preliminary Japanese, so that's what I done to just stimulate my brain and stuff before I get into like actual like deep work sessions that are related to university or to so coding. That's what I'm primarily spending a lot of my deep work sessions on. And then there's also like I'm trying to learn how to edit videos and stuff, so that's also what I'm looking into too. So in terms of business, like I'm not working on any business. Well, I guess if you count YouTube, but that's like not really like I'm not taking that as like very serious. I'm just trying to up my skills essentially. While at the moment, like I'm not really looking into any business like prospects. I really should, but like I currently like of what I could possibly do. If you can't like, I guess you can like count YouTube as something, but it's gonna take like time to receive any like profit or monetary gain whatsoever. But like that's not my priority at the moment. It's just like studying and well keeping healthy and fit and learning, I guess. Like just building and compiling skills for the future would be the best way to describe it. So Winning asks, you have any advice how to get back into the gym after stopping for 2 months? So oh you had to quit military training. So what I can say for getting back into like physical activity and stuff, the best way to do it is to go in and do something small. Like it doesn't matter anything. Just start. Like it doesn't matter if you like finished like the full session or what, or you finish all the sets, or you even like complete all the reps. Like just go in and do something basic. Walk yourself back into it. Get familiar. Get accustomed to whatever routine you're trying to do. Like most of like the work will come from you just like viewing the routine, viewing the like just watching it on YouTube or seeing the exercise be performed by someone. Like it's gonna be hard for you to like just hop straight back in and pull yourself out of a 2 month like break. So just start off with something small. That'll be the best way to get back into it. So just go into the gym. Like if you're gonna do like some light cardio and then some light weights, just go in and do that. And once you do that, like you'll eventually just compile onto that more and more. Keep on adding on more stuff, and by the end of the day, you'll be able to get the full like workout session completed. So let's see. Um, yeah, so I said if you want to do water fasting, like that's just for starters, or we can start off with like what I suggested before, which is intermittent fasting. So it'll be around 12 hours or so, 12 hour like interval is what you probably want to like work with during it, you can try to do it during the day, but it'd be easier if you do it during the night just for as like a something to start out with. Oh, so what's my routine? So this like the how like let's say like French because I've been doing that longer. So everyone like knows Duolingo and stuff. Like that's just like a great way to get yourself in through the door. That's gonna just help you like get a grasp of the basic fundamentals of any language that's like on there essentially. So you basically know how to like count basic numbers. You know how to say basic verbs and like form basic sentence structure, right? But you're gonna have to do additional more than that if you want to get like any good mileage out of learning the language. Like Duolingo is not gonna be enough. So essentially, I try to implement like watching like a lot of French content. So let's say some like game like or YouTubers who do like gaming and stuff for games like that I'm interested in. Usually like most games will have like different like communities centered around their like different languages and stuff. So like I'd watch like French content creators, for example, for some of the games that I play or some games I used to play, and you'll notice words and you'll notice pronunciation. It just gets you accustomed to that. Like even if it's not that active of learning, like you're just there listening to said learning or to said like pronunciation of words. It's it's very beneficial towards you like learning that said language. And also like you're gonna have to like learn how to like form the words. So writing a lot of the words out can can also help um just engaging or talking to people in that language as well. Like I'm on a few like discords that have a lot of like French people, so if it's just something in common, like I'll just practice a bit of the French. But like obviously I'm not up to the snuff where I can like form full conversations or hold full conversations on my own. It's kind of difficult. So, but that's the best way to go around with doing things in my opinion. So like it's gonna take a lot of time also, like that, like with anything, with learning any sort of skill and stuff. But you want to make it as natural as possible. You don't want it to just be a full like strict regimented routine, and as soon as your routine is done and you're like in just like you're in a natural like environment, it's going to be hard for you to reproduce what you learned, so or regurgitate what you learned. So it's just better to, in my opinion, just implementing it into everyday life. You're doing something simple like you count in French, or you just think about the phrases and spelling of the words. Yeah, and definitely what Jackie recommended with flashcards and stuff. That's something you can also do. But like I use like Notion primarily for that because I just find it like easier and stuff on doing it digitally. In my opinion, is just how I like to do it. But yeah, I'm like loads of questions. And like, oh my god. But I think I answered like most of them anyway. But most of you guys as well like helped to answer most of them. So I said like it's gonna just be me like talking. But if anyone wants to like come up and talk, let me see if any hands are raised. Like you can suggest to come up onto the stage too. Like if you wanted to share something, because I guess I was expecting this to be small, but like if people have like a lot of questions and stuff, like it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say on certain like topics. And yeah, it is. That's why I'm like learning French too, cause like over here just like fluent in English. I'm very good with that. It's a good like way to get accustomed to how to learn languages, cause that's also a skill in itself. Like you're gonna have to get familiar with how you can learn languages. So if you want to go and learn another language after like learning French, for example, you're already accustomed with a lot of what you have to do. Oh yeah, wait. I think I had something to share a bit. So um yeah, so like the main point of this was like just to talk about like self improvement in everyday life, and like I always see people talking about how they're like struggling to find friends who have like similar ideas to them, who are also on self improvement and stuff. And Hamza's also covered it on a bunch of his lectures when it comes to building a tribe, and when it comes to forming like actual like meaningful like friendships and stuff, people like who actually like care about you and are not just like using you for gain and stuff, and people who aren't gonna just like drag you down. It's very important to find good friends and friends who have similar interests to you. So naturally you're going to have to want to take action and go to an area, or let's say like a club for example, where people who share the same interest as you, and let's say that club is just like art or something. So you'll probably want to go to a nightclub where you're gonna meet other like people who are in the same like stratosphere in terms of interest and stuff. So that's the best way, or like in my experience, it was like a good way for me to like meet people who share similar interests. But like for me, it was a lot of sports clubs. That's where I went to make a lot of my friends. So you're going to have to take initiative and go out of your way to do that. Engage in conversation and ask people and just talk to them really. Well, what you want to avoid, which is like a common trap that a lot of people fall into, is like the whole like monk mode thing, and what people tend to do when they feel like they want to eliminate all their distractions and get an edge in life and in improving and stuff. So it can have its benefits and it can be unhealthy. It ultimately depends, but generally it's not the best course of action. You want to like keep at least some sort of contact with people, some sort of friend group that you can rely on and stuff. Like if you feel like you just want to like stay away from distractions and stuff, that's perfectly fine. And you want to like improve your grades, or start a business, or take time out of your start just open up more free time to work with, then you can do quote unquote monk mode. But it's not ultimately what can be the best option. It depends on what you want to do ultimately, because it's gonna make you a lot harder to integrate yourself back into like social environments if you've been distant from them for such a long time, and you're gonna find that your social skills regress over if you're not like using them actively. But it is completely like possible for you to be completely on your purpose, which is a whole another like topic in itself, but and be on top of your grades and stuff if like you're just distant socially, but you still find time in your schedule to take part in social activities. Yeah, water fasting is a good like start to losing weight, and it is in itself very like popular and stuff. Where you're gonna have to like do a lot more like research by on it, if you want to like make the ultimate effects. Like if you want to like get the most out of it, it's something that you can't just like say, okay, I'm just gonna like stick primarily to water and then now that'll be that. You're gonna have to do a lot a lot of research on it, and you're going to have to like eventually, well, it depends. If you want to like see increased results, you might want to increase the amount of time that you do water fast. But like just stick to intermittent at the moment, or however you pronounce it, like you know what I mean. And Hamza has recommended that like plenty of times, because it's the most easiest and it's probably the best like way to get into doing that. And you probably want to just have some meal like of like it. You did say you were experienced, right? So like I assume like you know what you're doing, and you're not gonna go to it just like starving yourself and stuff. But I'd assume that you don't want to go like over 24 hours without eating anything. So you'd want to break your fast depending on when you started it first. and just get some sort of nourishment from a small like meal or a large meal. Depends on what you need and what like your level of skill is when it comes to fasting. Also, so okay, like I'll say the this is like the starter pack who's just like into fitness and just looking to eat healthy, I guess. So you can stick to rice, chicken breast, broccoli, and if you're aware of those like frozen like packs that just have like a load of like mixed vegetables, so like green peas or garden peas and like small diced carrots, and the other thing that I can't even remember the name of, like the green like bean looking thing. I don't even know what it's called, but you can add that in as well. Yeah, cold white rice. You can try that, and that's yeah. You can add broccoli too, but like I forgot what it's called. Like it comes in like the. I'm actually having it today, but I don't even know what it's called. It's some thing I don't know, but like just like the garden peas and the carrots, like that's gonna do you good enough. So you can stick to that as a primary as your like primary meal or the meal that you use to break your fast, and you're just gonna get everything you need in that. You're gonna get the protein, the carbs, and yeah, lens or yeah, I forgot what it's even called. Yeah, but that yeah. So that's gonna be a good starting meal. Obviously, you wanna add more variety to your meals as you go, but that's like a good starter and a good like fast breaker, if you will. So yeah, you feel like TX Gamer asks like, how do you cope with time that half wasted in school? Yeah, you feel like you waste a lot of time in school, and you definitely like time is like wasted, like in between. Like let's say like walking to different classes, commuting to and from school, that's time wasted, and there's a lot of just like bullshittery, and they're just talking about stuff you probably already know in terms of such subjects and stuff. But what I do like this is what I always used to do. Like in like maths class, they're going on about stuff I already know. Like I literally just be under the desk on my phone, and I'd be like researching or like planning about what I was doing then, which was like track and field at a competitive level. So I'd be looking into like training routines and stuff. So you can, if possible, if it's not gonna dip your grades. Like I don't even know if I recommend this or not, but you can try to get some like outside work or work that's in your interest done in school. It's not always like recommended. It's just something that you're gonna have to deal with and like coexist with for a pretty good chunk of your life. Like I done it. Like I got out and then like you feel like a lot of time is like opened up, especially when you go to like university or college. Well, you're not allowed to go on your phone. That's why I'm saying I'm not recommending it. But like I took the risk and I just done that to get more mileage out of my time, because it's just like honestly a waste of time. Like to be in class, most classes are just like irrelevant. And if you have like a free class, like the teacher isn't in and stuff, that's plenty of time you can use there to get something done. It's just about um compensating for the time lost and being effective with your time to the best of your ability. Sometimes it's not always possible, and sometimes it is. So, yeah. So a simple meal that you can do while you're in school. Well, well, it depends. Like, what's your like situation? Like, are you in boarding school or what? Like, I don't understand. Like, how are you gonna like a meal you're gonna eat in school or what? Cause the meal I recommended with like the chicken breast, the white rice and the broccoli and like the vegetables, you can essentially like just make that pretty much anywhere if you want, or like I guess you can like fit it into like a into like a meal like kit, or I forgot what they're even container. Yeah, yeah, you could and bring it into lunch or when you go come home. So yeah, Mm. I don't. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, once you finish your fast, yeah. So you might want to just like have it like prepared in advance to make it easier, cause that's when like cravings like tend to occur. Cause, well, cooking a good and healthy meal takes time, but like, why do that when you can just binge eat like some pack of chocolates or sweets or something? So you want to like have everything available, all the ingredients like laid out, like easy to see, easy to work with, and stuff, and then you'll be more like inclined to do that. So you can just do that like as soon as your water fast is finished. The meal I recommended, like everyone knows it, dude. Like just you can even literally just like name it off, like chicken breast, broccoli, and white rice, and then you can add in some more vegetables if you like, and depending on what like portion you want, like if you want like a lighter portion, well, like you said you wanted like to cut bad, so your portion would probably be smaller. So that's why I recommend anyway if you're just looking for a starting meal. Yeah, you don't know. It's so nah. This is anything anyone can cook. Like I'm literally like I'm incapable of cooking, right? But like I can make it. So like pretty much anyone can. Like rice, you just like throw it in, you like cook it over the stove or the electric cooker or whatever it is, or rice cooker, anything. And then once that's done, it's done. Broccoli, like you get the I don't even know what it's called, like the stem of broccoli or whatever, and then you just chop the smaller bits off, put it into a pot, put some boiling hot water in, or the other thing that people use to like keep the. It's actually snowing outside. Wait, hold up. Damn, it's actually that's weird. It doesn't snow in the UK too often, but yeah, you can like what I was saying with the broccoli before. Like I forgot, there's a better way to like cook broccoli in order to like not have any nutrients lost. I'm not like a fucking chef or anything, so I can't even remember. Like if anyone knows like the method to do that, you can do that. But and as well as like the chicken breast, it's easy. Just throw it on like a wok or a frying pan, and wait for it to cook. Then just throw it all into one bowl, and then that's your meal. Electric vape, bro. As someone who used to vape, like, bro, I always get those urges. Like when I'm living on my own, I have the money to, I can afford it, I can do it, but like I just choose not to, cause people say it's healthier than smoking just cigs, but it's I'd say that just to stay away from all that stuff, right? Like you don't need any like outside stimulants to operate. It's better the less you do. Like music is enough. If you need like just something to as to serve as an outside stimulant, stick to something that's like relatively like healthy. Just stay. I'd say like this is like the general like conservative advice. Stay away from vapes and stuff. I'm not unsure of like the science and stuff. There's a lot of people saying that oh vapes are like worse than cigarettes. Like there's a lot of like articles out like they're trying to like ban it in some countries and stuff. Yeah, it is just instant gratification. Yeah, that's the general like tag you can slap onto it. It's instant gratification, so you'd be best to stay away from it if possible. Even I get the urges anytime I see someone else doing it. Like I used to do it in the past. I just get that the urge to go and get my own or buy my own, but like I just stay away from it. You're better off just avoiding it. Mm. Bro, why does no one want to get up on the stage and talk, bro? Everyone before, like, there was like infinite people. Like, I couldn't end the last lecture before. Like, anyone wanna hop on, like, interact and stuff. Cause I'm actually, bro, it's actually snowing outside. That's crazy. Damn. Yeah, yeah, yes, my boy Aiden. Yeah, 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 for sure, bro. Yo,
Hey, how you doing, Victory?
great, bro. What's up? What about you?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I woke up like 10, 15 minutes ago. So,
Mm,
can you give me a rundown of what you would like me to talk about?
yeah. So just like general advice to help with people, like let's say they've just finished their habit tracker and they're trying to implement a lot of like self improvement stuff in with school life, in with social life, in with like their relationships at home with their like parents and stuff. Like what's best for them? How can they get on top of like diet and exercise? How can they like interact socially with friends and stuff? What's the best way to go about with doing those things?
All right, so I can definitely help out, or I can give some advice for that because I've been doing a lot. Like I've been so much more productive in school, uh, recently. Like I guess with self improvement,
Yeah,
and it's just because I realized that the people I was surrounding myself with were causing me to be less productive and feel like kind of crap and feel bad about like my self improvement. Like some people, they look at my self improvement stuff. They look at me reading books, and they're kind of like, "Oh, what do you it's a waste of time. You should just be hanging out with friends." And I'm just like, I'm
yeah,
not. I'm trying to do things, right? So it's really about who you surround yourself with there. Because I found that when I literally like left my lunch table, I don't even, I have like a snack for lunch, but I use lunchtime to just get work done for school. So when I get back home, I can work on other things. So I kind of like break it up into what I'm working or like what class I'm in. So if I'm in a class where the teacher doesn't really care, then I go and I get other assignments done, or I just get like I get a reading session in, or I don't know, maybe I like walk around and take some deep breaths and relax because
mm,
whatever opportunities you get, you should take those. You should take it 100%. And every single time I've had the opportunity to literally go away from like negative people and move away, I did it like without a doubt. Even
yeah,
if they were people I talked to all the time, or people I wanted to maybe talk to more, I realized that hanging out with them resulted in me doing less work, and I would get less stuff done, and I would feel like crap after because I know most of us we want to get shit done. We want to feel good. We want to get productive. So
yeah. So you felt like they were like a detriment to what you want to get done.
oh, they were hundred percent right, like hundred percent. So like for me, unfortunately, right now, it seems that I'm one of like few people in my classes who actually get shit done. Like I'm one of few people. I'm lucky that I know a few people at least, but the majority of people they just mess around in classes. They don't really do shit, and so I'm kind of just on my own with a lot of it. Now
Yeah,
I know that most of us are gonna find people. It just takes time, right? There's without a doubt there's people in our schools who are also really productive, or maybe they're doing a few self improvement things, but you need to think about, okay, I want to find those people. Now you got to think about why you need to find those people, right? You want better connections, you want better relationships, so you got to think of where to look. It's of course not the easiest thing, right?
yeah,
Easiest thing to think about, but yeah. Oh, so whenever I have school breaks, you have like 10 people watching you. I don't give a shit, man. I don't give a shit who's looking at me. I,
mm,
I just get my work done. If people see like me having like my because I work on my business in school, so I don't give a shit if people are
yeah,
looking at what I do. Like I just get shit done. It doesn't matter to me because now I can go back home, even though I've been struggling with this a little bit. I was gonna ask you about it, but I'm so productive in school. I'm getting so much shit done in school that my energy levels are like dropping when I get back home
yeah, yeah.
because I'm just like, God damn, I got so much work done. I usually have no homework now. I just don't have homework because I'm so good at getting work done. I don't have
Mm,
homework anymore.
yeah,
So I get back home and my energy levels just go down because I did my reading session. I meditate on the bus. Like I relax. I got a snack in, and then I feel done for like hours. It's so weird because it would seem that my productivity would go up, right, after school, but I don't know. For me, I'm just using so much energy to get shit done that it goes down.
mm, yeah. I also said something similar. That's what I used to do. Like when I was in like high school and stuff. Like you wouldn't be allowed to like do this, but like I just do it anyway. Like I'd be under like in maths class. I just have my phone under the desk and I'd be like learning about like my sport and stuff. I learn how to get better starts, learning how to like just have better like acceleration, like what like exercise or workout routines I could try and stuff. Cause like at the end of the day, like it's well, what they're teaching you like in class and stuff. it can be like beneficial to you to get like better results in your like exams, but like if you already know what they're telling you, it's like well, like it's just like time wasted, time that could be put in like more efficiently. So you're just gonna have to work with that and to work around like having most of your day or most of your the time in your eating up eating like it's just about like being smart with it and making the most of your free time and stuff.
Yeah, some people are saying kind of the same thing. Like school is mentally exhausting. Now,
Yeah,
also some piece of advice I do have to give, and I suggest everyone listen to this one. Right? Do not look at school like a waste of time, and look at it as an opportunity to grow. If you look at school and you hate it, which is what I did, I never enjoyed it. Right? Like I literally hated school. I'd go into every class, I'd complain, I'd be a little pussy, and I'd complain about all the homework I had, complain about all my teachers, complain about everything. And honestly, that just creates negative energy, and that just exhausts you. It just makes you feel less, happy,
yeah,
or makes you feel unsatisfied. But if you look at school like an opportunity to grow and learn and become better, whether it's just self improvement or maybe, last year maybe wasn't as good for you, and this year you want to get better. Maybe then you spend more time studying and you improve your grades. Like that's what I did. And it was super. All it took was just a mindset switch. I feel like that's the most important thing for people because if you look at school like that, you're gonna enjoy it more. One, like I don't hate school. I really enjoy school now because it gives me an opportunity to boost my work ethic. Like I'm way more harder worker because of school. But the only thing I need to figure out is how to reboost my energy levels after school because I'm doing so much. So for a lot of people, I think it's got to be the mindset switch. Can you explain how to Aiden stuff happen in the past? So I have nothing but distaste. Okay, okay. Do you mind if I answer questions
yeah. You
quickly
can
or?
go for it, go for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So it's the same thing for me, right? Eraser. I want to say the same thing for me happened, right? I had virtual year, personally, and then I had freshman year where I just messed around with teachers and kind of got yelled at all the time. I was late to classes. I didn't really have a good time, to be honest. And I was surrounded with really bad people, so I thought I was enjoying it, but I really hated it. And I think it was because I was deciding not to enjoy it. Like I was just choosing not to enjoy it. I didn't realize it, but I was choosing not to enjoy school and appreciate what I had. So even virtual year, I was just sleep. I would click like join the Google Meet or some shit, and then go to bed. That's it. I'd sleep out. I would sleep so many extra hours, or I'd binge watch. This was like before self improvement,
yeah,
but like binge watching Netflix, eating really unhealthy, really shit. I lost track because of COVID, and that was so bad because like track was keeping me in really good shape, and it kept me so motivated. So that really hurt, right? That really hurt, and I thought that like, oh, school's so easy now. I can just cheat. I can just do whatever, right?
yeah,
And that was all of like the virtual year for me. It was just shit. Like to be completely honest, it was just shit. It was a bad time for me. And I realized at the end of it, when I was finally back in school, right, when it all ended, I realized, you know what? I've been really, I never appreciated all the people I got to meet in school. I didn't appreciate the fact that I could actually learn in school because honestly, for most of us, it's easier to learn in school than
mm,
online. Far easier. So I didn't appreciate that. So I went back to school and I was like, I'm gonna appreciate every single moment that I get there, whether it's good or bad. It's an opportunity for me to learn, right? So whether it's people trying to make fun of me, maybe I can stand up for myself. Boom, had an opportunity. Or maybe I meet new people, another opportunity. Or I find out some of my friends are talking bad about me, cut them off, another opportunity to learn, right? Or it's me having better relationships with my teachers because I used to be a dickhead like kid, and it's like not the class clown. It's like one of the kids that doesn't really pay attention
yeah,
on his phone
yeah,
all the time, right? So I just changed it up. 100% just flipped it. And it wasn't like a gradual change, because you can do gradual, right? You can do gradual change. But if you want real big change, you just snap. You just literally, you can snap your fingers and say, I'm going to change this. And you start those changes. So if you want to change how you look at school, then start looking at it as a good thing. Look at it as a positive thing. No matter what happens in school, it's a great thing. That's why, even though right now I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, how do I, like, boost my energy level? Because it's like, after school, after being so productive in school, I'm going back home and getting too comfy and chilling out. I'm still appreciating what school has given to me and what I get to do in school, right? So that's what I'd have to say for being really successful in school, or appreciating school, is just to look at it as a good thing. Look at what happens as a good thing. Even that homework, even that busy work that you hate, even the homework that I hate, man, I just get it over with. I just do it, and I say, like, you know what? This helps me stay on task with stuff. This is going to help me. Even though I don't know why, it might help me in the future. Right? They're like the small things, because a lot of us, right, we usually, keep work to the last minute. I know a lot of people do that, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Not good work ethic. But if you set yourself an hour, 2 hours every day, maybe, to just work on schoolwork, or you just did it in school, you got it done in between classes, that's building your work ethic. That's building your character. That's improving. You're improving yourself by that. Deadass. And then as you meet better people in school, as you cut off old people, you're improving yourself. You're improving your relationships. Boom. You're self-improving in school, and you don't even realize it. So you can turn school into that self-improvement zone, and that's what I've been doing. And I wish really more people would do that. I think that would be a great change, and people would make so much more progress. That's how I've been able to really change things up for myself, just by surrounding myself with better people who are like, you know what, you're getting so much work done, Aiden, that's great, good job, keep going. Or some people now help me out with my work, or they give me assignments because they're like, you know what, you're a hardworking kid, I'll give you this assignment, give me one later. Those are good friends. People who have your back, people, who encourage you to do that stuff. People who don't have your back are the people who laugh at you, insult you for dumb shit. And we got Aban. Oh, Aban. I love Aban. Yo,
What's up, bro?
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Bro. I'm doing great, bro. Just hopped onto this lecture. Heard you like spitting facts about school and shit.
Yeah.
This sounds really good, bro.
All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Do you have anything to say to everybody?
There's one thing you really need, bro. Like everyone who's gonna listen, you just need to be doing the same few things every single day. Like, it doesn't matter how much it sucks. Like, it doesn't matter if you fell on your head in the ICU or whatever. You need to get 3 things done. Like, no matter what it is, whatever you have in your life. For example, next month is my 11th finals, so I'm not on Discord anymore. I'm not like on YouTube. I'm nowhere. Like, I'm just in front of my book. Like, if I don't study in a day, that day is completely ruined, right? So when you have a goal and you have like a deadline for it, for example, a few months, just have a bit of that done every single day. Otherwise, you will feel this sort of loss at the end. Just get it done, man. And I guess that is what self-improvement is boiled down to, like getting your habits done consistently with the goal in mind. Yeah, that's it, man. Like,
yeah,
I guess...
you know what? Thank you for that. Seriously, thank you.
Great job, Aiden, by the way. This
thank you, man.
lecture thing.
Yeah,
so glad it's working out for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I could add on to what do I say your name like Aban? I want to make sure I'm not like mispronouncing.
Yeah. That's right.
So to add on to what he said, you can do a lot of those habits in school, actually. Believe it or not. Obviously, you might not have a gym in school, or maybe you don't have your book on you. But you could easily, bring a physical copy of your book to school. You could download a PDF on your computer or your phone, and you could read in school. You can get, maybe that might be one of your habits, right? Learning. You could download a podcast, or you can download an audiobook, whatever it is, and you can learn in school, right? So being consistent, right? If you're in school 5 out of 7 days of the week, then you're going to be consistent in learning. You're training yourself to be consistent. So it's just going to be maybe, from from like lunchtime, from maybe 12 o'clock to 12:20 or something, I'm going to read. That's it. And then maybe on Saturdays and Sundays, you're like, screw it. I'm going to read at the same time. Now you're building that habit. Now you're just building that habit easily, just because you already implemented it into your, everyday life. So that's kind of the point of it. So that right there could do you so much good. That's what I did, because I originally just couldn't get myself to read at home, like on a normal basis. So I was like, you know what? To be more productive in school, I'm gonna read. And honestly, it worked, because regardless if I read in school or not, I read. I'm learning something all the time. So that habit was just building and building and building. And now it's more like, oh, I didn't get to read yet. I should definitely go read. I don't look at it as a chore anymore. So you can do the same thing with a lot of things, even if it's I don't know what people walk to school or go on the bus or drive, but either or, like, you can meditate, but you can get a meditation in. You can get a quick 3 minutes just breathing in and out, relaxing yourself. Boom, you did another habit. Simple, so easy, and it's like, oh, well, it was just kind of already in my schedule. I just got it done. So you don't look at it as a chore now, but you look at it as a part of your routine. You're part of your already everyday life. And that just, for me, it makes me feel a lot better. Like, you know what? Today I got back from school, finished meditating, finished reading a book. I also bring a journal. I could friggin' journal for all I care. Like, who cares if people are staring at me while I journal? I do what I want. So that's what I've been doing. Like, the three things: gratitude journaling, and reading and meditating. I get those all done in school, and it makes me feel so much better, at least when I come back home and I'm like, I got those done. Let's go. Right now I'm
How do
ready
you
to.
meditate in school? Like,
How
do
do
you
I
have like
meditate
some
in
sort of,
school?
yeah, like, yeah, you got some routine or something?
So there's multiple. Well, there's multiple things. Well, I guess the app I use, there's like certain types of, like, if you want to, like, a relax meditation, it's a quick, like, breathing one. So it'll take like 3 to 5 minutes. So I can do that in a random room in, like, the school, or I could do it in, like, this is weird, I guess, but the bathroom, because no one's in the freaking bathroom, man. People are just vaping and doing whatever the hell they do. So you can, or just lunchtime during breaks, or I have a break sometimes for school where I have 30 to, no, 60, 67 minutes to kind of get work done or be productive in general. And during that time, I could hit a quick meditation. I could read. I could journal, all in the same block. Or let's say, everybody is being noisy in one class and we're kind of just messing around and the teacher doesn't care. And I'm trying to relax so I can get shit done. Boom, just quickly breathe in, breathe out, 2 minutes, get back to work. You know, it's not like you have to set, right? You have to set something, or like a certain requirement. Like, oh, it needs to be, super quiet. It needs to be, like, super easy for me to meditate, for me to do it. As long as you can breathe, my guy, and you have like a few minutes to yourself, do it, because it just brings you instant mental clarity, and that just helps you so much. It
Yeah.
really does. Like, just giving yourself that time to relax and be like, you know what? Why do I care what other people are doing? Let me just get back to work. Let me go do something else.
Mm, definitely for sure. Yeah. Like I wanna get like do y'all mind if I just like get other people on? Cause yeah,
Yeah, because I've been at it. I've been
yeah,
at it
yeah,
too
yeah,
long. Yeah, my bad.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
problem, no
yeah. But
problem.
thanks for
I appreciate it.
contributing, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, no
Yeah,
problem. Everyone, take care.
yeah. Thank y'all for spitting facts like usual. But yeah, like I just want to make like keep this short. Like it's not like super in depth. Like super in depth, I'd have like a big ass script and I'd have super like tons of points and stuff. But like, nah, it's just something like I guess something for the community. Answer questions. Um, relay experience to people like who are like struggling and stuff. So yeah, I think I'll just like answer a few like get a few more people up and yeah. Sup, bro? Yo,
How are things going?
great, bro. How you doing?
Nice, nice. Not much. Just chilling, watching, reading. I mean, listening your lecture. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. But yeah, do you have
Um.
like any like points or just like advice for people who are watching, like just on
Yeah,
self
I believe
improvement?
I can share some wisdom on
Yeah,
today's lecture. Self-improvement in everyday life. So I remember last time I had spoken on a bit of a similar topic, and I was all over the place. So people kind of didn't grasp what my main sort of talk topic was. And syntax aspects on that. So today I'm trying to do better.
yeah,
So yeah, self improvement in everyday life. So, like last time, we were talking about like what to do after a habit tracker. I gave advice. I said, take things slowly, enjoy life, appreciate things, journal more. Make sure to still keep on doing the habit tracker, because I believe humans by default will keep in a sense, I wouldn't say relapsing, but return to their old habits, because even if they do uh learn whatever the what is it called again? Yeah, learn whatever the habits they have put in their habit tracker. Still, over time, they're gonna still keep forgetting to do it, and eventually they're gonna return to their old way of life. So yeah, that's that. Keep doing a habit tracker. So yeah, back to the topic at hand. Self improvement in everyday life. So most people here, who I believe are young, usually, last I checked, I believe most people here are under 16 or so. So I'm assuming that most of y'all go to school. And yeah, Aiden did cover the topic of what to do in school. And he gave a really nice talk, I'm not gonna lie. So props to you, Aiden. You have my respect. Anyways, yeah, I'm a student. Uh, I've been going to school quite a lot recently because Corona, where I live, has officially been declining, and people are starting to take things less seriously. Going out without masks and things like that. Anyways, as I was saying, uh, so because recently I've started going back to school, uh, I have been noticing that I've been flunking a lot of classes. Mainly because I was used to the online life, cheating in everything, opening up the mark scheme whenever I'm asked a question, things like that, little petty things like that. So because I have come back to school, and I never attended school in person, it came to me like almost as a huge shock in a sense. Like I'm not used to this. This is the first time I'm seeing my classmates in person. um Keep in mind, by the way, I had just transferred to the school I'm currently in back like in ninth grade. And for me, I was in online school from like ninth grade till mid mid 10th grade. I had come back earlier in December to take my post midterms. So as I was saying, it came as a huge shock, even though thankfully my classmates were very friendly. The people weren't pricks, they were sociable. They were pretty chill. I enjoyed spending time with them. But even though I did enjoy spending time with them, it did really come to me as a shock. And like, I had forgotten all my self improvement tips and like how to socialize and things like that. Considering that it was the first time I had been meeting these people.
yeah,
So what I had done at the time is I had like, well, almost like a mini panic attack, like in the first time, like, oh, who are these people? I don't know them. So what I had done is I had to calm myself down. Like I had to take like 5 or 10 deep breaths and really calm myself down because I was nervous, like shivering, a little nervous. And then after I had calmed down, I remember going through my basic anxiety protocol, which is calm down, take a few deep breaths, assess the situation, find the best possible solution, implement. It's easy. Anyone does that. So after I had calmed down, I had decided that the best, path for me to take in order to take self improvement seriously and get back on my shit, is to try to gain and build a social status in my class. Because at that point, it was like our first time going back to school after what, 2 years almost. And well, I believe not just me, but it was a shock to all of us, all my classmates. So I had decided to take the initiative. Went ahead, socialized, talked around here and there. Um, things like that and whatnot. Hold on. Eraser asked, "How do you build a social status?" Yeah, I'll answer your question on later. Just give me some time. I'll finish my story. Yeah, I had taken the initiative. I had socialized with people, and by the end of the day, I had found myself that I had actually done something with my social life. I had actually talked with people, which was actually a huge shock to me because before I had transferred to this school, I was the awkward, shy, weird kid. I was a social reject in a sense, to be more specific. So that had come as a huge shock to me. I was really incredibly proud of myself. That was back in December when I had started taking self improvement really seriously. Of course, I started working out too, and now I'm really proud of myself. I have been noticing a huge build in my triceps, and I have also noticed that my biceps have grown a bit. So I'm happy of myself for that. So now to answer Eraser's question, how do you build a social status? This question can be assessed very differently, depending on who you are, but I'll give you my piece of cake, my advice. To build a social status, firstly, you need to be able to be comfortable with getting out of your comfort zone. What I mean by this is, let's say you're in a social event, a classroom, homeroom period to be specific. Everyone is free, minding their own business, a small group here and there, talking with each other. Um, what I would suggest is you get out of your comfort zone and go ahead to someone who's sitting alone because, of course, I'm going to assume that you're someone who's afraid of approaching a small group of people because I used to be kind of like that. I used to be very afraid of approaching a group of people thinking that, oh, they would judge me. Oh, what the hell would they do? Oh, they're probably going to put evil eye on me or something like that. So yeah, after you've gotten out of your comfort zone and approached the quiet kids, people who are minding their own business, not introverted level, oh, social outcast level quiet, but people are minding their own business. After you have approached them, I believe your best next step would be to talk about something in common. Hold on, the chat is kind of distracting me because oh,
Yeah,
Sandu's
best
bringing this
not.
lecture.
Yeah, best not to like distract you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really appreciate the compliments. As I was saying, after you have approached the person who's minding his own business, try to find something in common, like, oh, what are you planning to major in this year, something like that, to set up a common ground in a sense. And I have read this in the Culture Code, and a few other books like The Road Less Traveled. Setting up a common ground is one of the best, most popular, not popular, but one of the best techniques to connect with people. You sound
Yeah,
12. Don't worry, don't worry,
it
don't worry, don't worry. I know I
doing
sound
that
12.
like setting the common ground, like it gets your like foot in the door and just like opens
Yeah.
like the makes it possible for you to like just like advance in with the
Yes, yes,
conversation.
especially. What I'm trying to say by this is that in the culture code, guys, stop Jeffreying Hypox. I know I sound 12. Um, Genetics. I'm waiting for my voice to crack. Anyways, to give you insight, what I read in the book, The Culture Code, is that there was this general during the Cold War, I believe, where the Germans have been not. I don't know which war is this, but it was a war. Um, and this was during winter, roughly November, December. In this war, the Germans were, fighting against the British. And what has happened is that as as Christmas has been approaching, I remember reading this specifically, which had really impacted me. I really felt a sort of impact in this specific chapter of the Culture Code. What had happened is as Christmas Eve was approaching, the soldiers
Oh yeah,
had been
yeah.
yeah the soldiers had been sort of they had given up in the motive of fighting each other and whatnot, and so the German side had taken the initiative and walked midway through the battlefield to the British side while raising a red or a white flag, saying, "Oh man, I do not want to fight. Can we have like a small truce?" And surprisingly, even though the British side was distrusting, um, they still decided to say, "You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go midway, meet the Germans midway, raise a white flag and say, yeah, me too, man, I do not want to fight.
But
Let's set up a small truce."
but like how can people like implement like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
point from that
And
into
like at first, like things went smoothly, but then, Germans went back to the side, British went back to the side. They were very skeptical. They felt like this was a plan to betray the opponents and take advantage. But surprisingly, Christmas morning rolled in, and what the soldiers had heard was sort of a shock. They heard the Germans singing Christmas carols, and like they had ended up both of them giving in, saying fuck it, screw war, we're gonna just team up, a small truce. And what had happened is, instead of viewing each other as enemies, they had started to view each other as humans, a sort of empathy ground in a sense. So that's what I'm trying to implement here in the
okay.
building a social status, find a common ground, something to that's in common between you guys, and talk about it, build something upon it. And then, after you've been built something upon the common ground, say, hey, I enjoyed this talk. Hope we can meet sometime soon. I gotta go attend so and so class and whatnot, and like go attend your class. Next day rolls in. Talk to the same guy, but this time, after you've met the same guy, go and find someone else who's minding their business. You want, because these sort of people, what's going on in their head is that, oh, I'm very nervous. I hope someone bright and outgoing would approach me, and socialize with me. So in this sense, Hamza went over such a thing. In this sense, you want to take the initiative and be the outgoing person. This is gonna truly help you build a social status and social
Yeah.
life. So there, I have answered Eraser's
Um,
question. Hold on.
th- thanks for the yeah, but like thanks
Oh,
for like
hold on. I want to talk to Eraser again.
yeah,
Unfortunately, there was
just
one
like
person
one more.
answering. Yeah. Um, so Eraser, if that person you try to talk to doesn't want to talk to you, don't give up. It's gonna be very demotivating because yes, most of us here are young and new to self improvement. I believe, yeah, earlier as I stated, we're below 16 and whatnot. Yeah, don't be afraid. Don't feel demotivated. If they don't want to talk to you, don't worry. That's one of what, like 40 people in your class. There's at least like 30 people else in the class who want someone to approach them and be the cool guy, the outgoing guy. So don't be demotivated. Go ahead, approach different people, build a social status, and eventually, hopefully, in no time, maybe less than a month, something like that, if you're taking my advice seriously,
Yeah,
you
thank
should be one of the popular kids in class.
yeah.
So
Thanks
yeah,
for
that's all I really
yeah,
have.
thanks for like sharing all that. Like
Oh yeah, you're absolutely
the
right. I'm sorry
story.
I took
Yeah,
up so much
no, it's
time.
okay. Yeah,
Sorry I
but
took up so
the
much time.
points were like well delivered and stuff. Better than last time
Thank you,
anyway.
man.
So yeah,
I really felt some sort of improvements from the last time I gave a lecture, because last time I was spazzing out. Oh, and yeah, and this
yeah,
time I really feel out of myself. So thank you, Victory, for bringing me up on stage. Thank
yeah.
you to all the audience.
No
To everyone
problem,
who
bro.
is listening and saying I sound like 12, I know. I'm trying to work on it. I've gotten the advice of primal screaming and whatnot, but don't worry about it. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, thanks
As
for
aside from
sharing,
that,
bro.
thank you all for the Adonis reactions. It means a lot to me. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.
Bye. So yeah, I think I got one more there. What's his name? The guy that was here from the very start. He said he wanted to get up. What's his name? I can't even remember the beginning. Yeah, ballistic. Yeah, what's up, boy?
Yeah. Right. So like, I don't have that much to say, but I was
Yeah.
pretty much had like about adding habits or whatever.
Mm.
Uh, so if you're like struggling to kind of add habits into your self improvement thing, um, you can add like this. So this is what I've done. So I started like self improvement around, I think it was like January 2021 something.
So from the start of there, I started every day just doing like, I think it was 100 push-ups a day,
Yeah.
implementing that habit. And I remember doing it for the first month, and I started to see like my triceps like start growing, and I kind of felt much better myself. So I did it for the second month into February, and
Yeah.
at that I was like, oh, this is good, this is fun, and like I was just pushing myself every day to do it. And what I had was this little whiteboard where I had like every day 1 to 30.
Yeah.
When I completed it, I'd have to tick it off with all of the habits I've done, and it just kind of helps you instill that habit of just working out. And I think after that point, I downloaded a app. I think it's called Home Workouts or something, and it can just kind of help you get into the habit of doing that. And once I did that, I started going to the gym and everything. So it's just about instilling the habit. And if you feel you don't have like time to add in any habits, just find any time to add a habit and you can do it. Um, so what I've done from the start of this year is there's this thing I kind of read where if you add a habit a month, you will eventually end up with 12 habits by the end of the year. And so at the start of this year, I started by journaling and learning a Spanish word a day.
Yeah.
Um, so what I do is after every day, I just kind of write down how I felt and everything like that, and like I just get the habit going. And so what I'd do is I'd write how my day went, like what I'm grateful for, like 3 things I'm grateful for, and how my day went, what I need to improve on, and then like what I'm going to do the next day. And then it's kind of like accountability, so you kind of help yourself out there by telling yourself what you need to do, so you hold yourself accountable. So the next day you go back to it, and if you haven't done it, then you kind of make yourself do it the next day and stuff. So like once I got the journaling going, and this I was learning a Spanish word a day. I'd have a routine. So every night around 9 o'clock, I would go get out my journal and I'd write in it how my day went, what I need to improve on, and by the next week I'd improved on it. So it's just getting the habit of just getting into journaling, and now I've journaled for 2 months straight, and I haven't missed a single day. So
Yeah.
it's just about doing that, and then like once that habit's kind of instilled, um, got the baseline of that habit just in your routine now. It's not like a task doing it. It's not like, oh, I've got a journal. It's more like, oh yeah, I'm just going to journal. It's nothing. You don't get that resistance that you usually encounter when you want to do it. And then at the start of this month, I had a new habit every month. So this month it was to meditate every day. Um, and I think I did well for the first 2 days. Then I like stopped, and then it
Yeah.
kind of downhill because I found no time for it, and it's really hard, and I was going to bed too late to do it. So what I started doing is, I've the last like 3 4 days, I've started to. Although I failed the habit in the first day, I didn't beat myself up for it. I downloaded the app that Hamza told me to get, which is called Medito, and
Mm.
it's meditation and everything. I recommend it. You go on there, and there's a 30-day challenge to instill the habit of meditation. And so there's this 20-minute one you can just do every day, 20 minute, 10 minute every day, and you go on there and you just kind of do 20 minutes of it. And I did 20 minutes of it, and I've done it now for 4 days in a row, and my anxiety and worry has gone down about everything, and like I feel so much better myself
Mm.
as well with it. And I'm just going to try and get to the end of them 30 days, and once I do, I think that'll be a new habit put in. But then after that, each month, just keep adding a habit, and you'll eventually get into the routine of doing it.
Yeah.
So
It's about like habit like repetition and compiling of habits, or like I guess you can use the like term progressive overload with your habits as well. Try to just do like a little bit more each time, and the more accustomed you are to like certain habits, then you feel free to add on new ones, cause like the other ones would just feel just so natural, like it's just what you do every single day. So yeah, definitely like a good points there, just to get a
yeah,
good
definitely.
basis for habits. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say what you don't want to do from the start is like so I use the new year as a good way to start off building loads more habits because it's like a fresh start, a new leaf or whatever. Um, So I was just kind of thinking, oh, that's perfect time to get this habit done. And you just got to keep up with a habit, no matter how much like you can beat yourself up for doing it. Don't overload yourself with habits. Like, even though I remember at the start of the whole self improvement, I was like, okay, I have like 5 things I want to do in a day. I want to do all of this, all of that. Like, wake up early, do this, go to the gym. Always, it's not going to work. Like, you might do it for one day and you just give up. Um, so you just want to start off small and just give yourself like one or two little habits. You don't want to overload it. Just simple, because if you put too many, you just get stressed out and won't find time. So just add like one habit a month. So last month was journaling and a Spanish word a day. Then this month's meditation. Next month, I don't know what it's going to be, but because I've been going to the gym since last year and stuff, it's just kind of already a habit anyway. So I don't need to make that a habit, but just add on to whatever you're doing in your day, and you have it. And I'd say, like, if you can't find kind of time to journal or anything, find a time. So like before going to bed, or say you've just brushed your teeth, like you're go like come back and just journal, write down for the day, and then go do what you need to do and go to bed. That's when I recommend. So you need like a set time to journal, otherwise you'll just end up not doing the habit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks
And that's
for sharing that point, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, and like that, the like self improvement, like just the basis of like everything that goes around it is just like your habits and your systems that go into to doing said habits. So it's that it has to be like prioritized, and a lot of time has to go into them. And the more you like do it, the more like natural it just becomes
yeah.
as time goes on.
There's also like one thing I was gonna add.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah. Go
so
ahead.
if you're tied up in a lot of school stuff, I know I'm at college now, but like if you're at school or whatever,
Yeah,
you will find it quite stressful because there's never any time. And I started this when I was back in school, but I was like year 11, so that's like the last year of high school for anyone. But I remember I was stressed out because it's like 5 days a week and you just have no time. But like if you listen to Audible, which is like the audio books and everything for self improvement, um, I usually just go on there, and like when I got off the bus, well, no, when I'm on the bus for like 20 minutes or how long, I listen to Audible instead of just sitting there on my phone scrolling through social media or anything. So just like even just listening to books or reading book on the bus is a good way to do it, because you're just it's kind of like a 20-minute period where you can do whatever you want. So it's a good use of time if you go on there and just listen to books or something. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing, bro. Definitely spitting the facts there. Oh yeah, gonna be I wanna go and work on other stuff. So it was a good little lecture, I guess, just to talk about general self improvement, red pill stuff. A lot of people got their questions answered and stuff. So it's definitely a good thing to do, a good thing to try to do more often, because like there's usually just not a lot of chances to get points across or to answer like questions, especially for me. Like I don't really have the time to go through like all the chats, all the messages, all the pings and stuff to be answering people's questions. So I can definitely afford to like put out 2 hours of my day or like during the week just to like answer people's questions. So yeah, thanks for